JWoww and her husband, her estranged husband, are in the middle of a heated battle, one that ended with him being taken away from their home last night at 2:30 in the morning. Now remember, JWoww and Roger are still living together. She filed for divorce back in September. He said, this is not over, I'm gonna save the marriage. So they're still living together. They have two young kids.
Dicey situation.
Well, it got really dicey on Thursday night into early Friday morning because they were arguing about something. We don't know exactly what at this point, but it was bad enough that they both decided they wanted to get the police involved.
So the police got involved.
Police came to their home.
But determined there was nothing arrestable at that point.
Right, that this was an argument. And said, you guys just stay away from each other, and that's it. Roger says he went to bed, and then at 2:30 in the morning, he is awakened by police telling him, you have to get out of your house. Your wife is getting a restraining order against you, and he is taken away.
Why would she get a restraining order between the time the cops come out and leave, and how can you even get one?
Something Roger was wondering himself. So while he's sitting in the back of the police car, mind you, he was not arrested. The police were just taking him to, he was staying at a friend's house.
Because there's a restraining order, which is bizarre, because how does she get a restraining order when she knows he's in the house and interacting? It's bizarre.
So while he's in the back of the police car, going to his friend's house, here's Roger's side of the story.
My wife, early tonight, we had a disagreement because she's leaving again tomorrow for work and promised my daughter that she would be hanging out with her all day, my daughter has the flu. So I took umbrage to it, and a little bit of a disagreement, I would say, ensued. Jenny became completely uncontrollably emotionally, like she always does, and said she was calling the police. So I said, for what? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I said, I'll call the police myself. So I called the police, because I knew she would make some sort of false police report, which is typical Jenny. I got woken up by 2 o'clock in the morning, sound asleep, by 2 officers who said she contacted the judge and filed a restraining order. So I'm currently in the back of a police car.
How did she get in touch with the judge? Or even, how was it issued in the middle of the night this way?
So what we've been told by attorneys that work on these cases in New Jersey, there are judges 24/7 who are available in domestic situations.
There are.
We don't know if Jenny went down to the police station or if she just called and said...
But how do you call and say, hey, I'm going to get a restraining order and
well,
get my husband out of the house?
That's why he wasn't arrested. If you say that someone is being verbally abusive to you and that you are afraid it may escalate, you can get a temporary restraining order and the police will come and remove that party.
You do realize then that anybody...
Yes.
Has the capacity to get their spouse or significant other
a temporary restraining order. I agree. Now
and I'm not. By the way, I am not in any way saying that if there was a threat or anything like that, that she shouldn't get one. But it just seems bizarre because the police had just been there,
and said that there was.
And then he went to bed.
And he went to bed thinking this was all done, but it wasn't. So now here is Snooki got involved in this. First thing Friday morning, Snooki goes and somehow gets, not somehow, I'm sure JWoww gave it to her, her security camera, a Nest camera inside the home that was recording when the police came and spoke to Jenny about what was going on. You're going to hear her talking to police about this restraining order.
If you ask the judge to give you sole parenting until that restraining order hearing in 3 to 7 days, the judge is going to give you that. Okay?
I don't really want to do that. That's what, I don't want to do that to him. He should be allowed to see them. I just don't want to.
Okay. Well, if you specifically ask the judge for that, then the judge may be willing to accommodate that. But you have to ask him about that.
Yeah. I don't. He's not a bad dad.
I need some help on this.
So she wanted to. The distinction she wanted to make is that I don't want him to have any contact with me, but I do want him to see the kids. He's not a bad dad. Yeah. Right now, as it stands, Roger cannot have contact with his kids or Jenny in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and Snooki also in the text said that basically what Roger was doing was recording the whole thing, trying to incite her so he could use that footage against her in court. But I actually reached out to Roger, and Roger did admit that he was recording the whole thing, but he was told to do so by his attorney because she's the only one with access to those cameras that Snooki posted. So she's the only one with access to that, and he's saying that basically she has threatened him before to use those cameras to edit them down, and basically, make him look bad.
Did she go to the courthouse in the middle of the night? I can't figure this out.
Yeah, she's not saying yet, and in New Jersey, the public can't see restraining orders, so we don't know exactly what she told police and/or a judge in order to get that restraining order.
Hi, this is Tyra from Philadelphia. This is a messy case with JWoww and her estranged husband, Roger. The children should not be put in the middle of this, but the way it looks is they're going to be put in the middle of whatever problems that they are having. They need to probably get mediation, so that they can figure this out, because they have to be able to work this out like adults and be able to communicate a whole lot better than what they're doing, because at the end, the children is the ones that's best, need the best care at this proper time.
And sadly, it sounds like, according to Roger, at least, their kids were right in the middle of this argument. They were yelling at each other in front of at least their daughter. So.